joke you broke. Your love life's the old way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. I'll be there for you 'cause you're there for me too.
Andrew, your mat's ready.
What? I'm so glad to mat my work now. Thank you so much for taking the time to cut that mat for me. I really appreciate it.
Good job.
I have my mat and my photograph together. How do we stick these together? Let's find out. First of all, let's talk about the mat. It's black on one side, white on the other, or vice versa. You can see on the top, focus, there is a little T. That T stands for top. You're going to put the top at the top, and then your mat face down. For this particular example, we're using black, so black is face down. Next, we have our photograph. You want to take that photograph out of the plastic casing. We do not want to mat the photograph with the plastic on it. You would think that's obvious, but yeah. So the mat is face down. Now, we very carefully get the photograph out of the plastic. You might notice I'm not putting my fingerprints all over the photograph. Fingerprints bad. Trash in the trash. Mat face down. Print face down. Next, masking tape. You're welcome to use this clear tape, but I think the masking tape is easiest because it's nice and thin. What happens if you can't find masking tape? You look for it. Don't ask me. Look for it. First step, 2 little pieces on the corners. Make sure it's nice and tight.
Hold on.
Now, before we tape this whole thing down, let's check and see if the photograph's in a good spot. Flip it over. Make sure you don't bend the image. I think that looks good. So, if it's not in a spot you don't like, maybe you're getting the window of the photograph or the edge of the photograph, the border of the photograph, put it in a spot where you're not seeing that, just the photo. Alright, next. All 4 sides. All 4 sides. Say it with me.
All 4 sides.
Good job, kids. I'd suggest to do the top, then the bottom next. That way you'll avoid some crinkles in your photograph. You can kind of pull on it as you're taping. Make sure it's nice and tight. That's 2 sides. Are we done?
No.
We need to do all 4 sides. Flip it over, double check. It's pretty good to me. Except for this one little edge. See that edge? Clean that up a little bit. Next, we're going to put the backing on. You cannot tape your paperwork to the photograph. You have to tape it to a piece of backing board. Where's the backing board? for right now, it's over here. This is extra matte. How do we know it's backing board? Well, it's not as thin as paper, but it's not as thick as the matte board. If you're unsure, ask someone that looks smart. Backing board is down. Then let's switch to the clear tape, also called packing tape. I would suggest on the packing tape to leave yourself a little thing, fold over the little corner. That way you don't have to dig and find where the roll starts every time. Pretty brilliant, huh? Oh crap. That piece of tape's just going to stay right there. We're going to do that again. Did y'all see what I did? Smart. Literally right after I said pretty brilliant. So much extra pressure with the camera. Alright, we did the top, as you can see. But are we done?
No.
No.
Why? Because we need to do...
All four sides.
Good job. So check back in when all four sides are done. Alright, the backing is done. Looks nice and clean. All the tape is flat. There's not a lot of wrinkles. There's one little baby wrinkle right there, but that's okay. Now, it's time for paperwork. Mr. Giles, where's my paperwork? Let me show you.
Remember?
Here in the studio, we have multiple pieces of paper that need to go on the back of your vase artwork.
You want to try that again?
Nope. First is the intent artwork identification form. Each form goes to you specifically, name of participant, and then it has your name. Do not pick the first one up off the stack. You need to go through the stack and find yours. If you're doing two pieces, make sure the title of your piece is being taped to the correct piece. Okay? So, artwork identification form. And this is what you guys have been working on with your questions. Next is the student agreement and artwork release form. This basically says that you and I work together and that we followed the rules. Lastly, production note. You have to write out the process that you took and then draw a little picture of your picture. Seems a little silly, but you gotta do it. Where do we put these pieces of paper? I'll show you. If you've made it this far, you're doing a great job. I am so proud of you. That's me patting you on the back. Okay. Let's look at this right here. This is the top. We can still see the T, so we know this is the top. We have our student intent form on the left, our student release form on the right, production note in the bottom right-hand corner. Please make sure it looks exactly like this. If you have smaller work, it's okay if you fold these, but obviously you don't want to tape it so that they can't open it, so just tape the top and then fold. Lastly, you can see that I have a little bit of room here at the top. I wonder what that's for. Let's find out. Over in this area, you'll find different pieces of what's called newsprint paper. We're going to use this paper to cover your image. This is not optional. All of these steps you have to do. This piece of paper looks too long. Let's not use that one. This piece of paper looks too big. Let's not use that one. This this one's too big too, but we're going to cut it because you can cut paper. Let's go on over here to our table. Your cover has to be the exact same size as your piece. Can you have edges on the side? No. Can you have extra room here at the bottom? No. So how on earth are we going to get this exact? By cutting it. Alright, so I have this already flush to the side, so that side's good. We don't got to worry about that side. So let's cut this side. And after I cut, you'll see how we tape it down. Scissors were a little pesky. Wouldn't be using an X-Acto knife be a little easier? Yes, it would be. But we don't want to cut on this really nice table that Mr. Giles has set up for us. So let's put a piece of scrap mat underneath our paper. And now we can cut with an X-Acto knife without cutting the table. X-Acto knife! Alright, the cover is cut really nice and clean with our X-Acto knife. Now we're going to fold the top over like this. Great. Hey friend, can you come help me? Hold this down while I tape it. Thanks, friend. You can use either tape in this scenario. Oh my gosh, where's the tape? Did you look for it? I found it, actually. I found it, guys. It's okay. It was right here. Thanks, friend. Now if we flip it over, our piece is now covered beautifully. And it's at the top. It's not on the side or the bottom, it's at the top. So, after judging, if you get a 4, this goes, it's laid out on the gymnasium floor and it looks beautiful. If you're not done with your paperwork and you want to do your cover, that is totally fine. So you could do your cover first and then tape your paperwork down. That's totally fine with me. The very last thing, you are not done until I sign this. You're going to tape this down. Make sure you don't put tape over where I'm supposed to sign it. If you are 18 above, you can sign this yourself. If you're not 18, you need mom and dad to sign this. And then, we'll tape everything down. Then, if you want to come over here really quickly. This is the master sheet of everyone going to VASE. This is our checklist. So first we have our bus permission slip. Our bus permission slip is this form. I passed out a couple weeks ago. The intent form, which is on the back. The release form, which is what mommy, daddy, and I sign. And then these are really for right now. Like whether you got your work printed, whether you want white or black mat, and whether you have your cover. And then the very last one that I had to handwrite is the production note because I forgot to put it. Once you're done, once you're checked off with all those, I'm going to give you a big Sharpie, and you're going to cross off your name. Once you're done, I take your piece for you, I put it in a box, and I'll see you Saturday morning. Any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
When and what time is vase?
Get out of here! Yes?
Where is vase?
I hate you!
What do I put for number 1?
Oh my god!
How do I get to vase?
Oh, your mother should have never!
What do I do if I feel guilty?
Ah!